Hi, I'm Brittany and I'm a survivor of sexual violence. If you see my videos in the past, you know that I was raped when I was 18. I was a virgin at the time, and it was just a week before my high school graduation. I'm not going to tell my story simply because even though it's been almost 5 years, I still can't verbally acknowledge it without breaking down. So instead, I'm going to focus on what I like to raise awareness to. First and foremost, I like to talk about reporting it, because that's probably my biggest regret, is that I didn't report it and he's still out there somewhere, probably carrying on and doing the same thing that he did to me to other girls. It's not something to take lightly and try to push to the side like I did. It's important to report it as soon as possible and not keep it to yourself, because you will regret it at some point. And like, everywhere is different as far as the statutes of limitation for reporting a crime, but the longer that you wait, the less evidence there is to support what you're claiming. So it's best to do it right away. And while I like to talk about all of that, the main thing that I like to focus on is the after effects of being raped, because it's not widely publicized and not a lot of people realize just how deep the effects of being raped or sexually assaulted can run. I suffer from severe depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. The effects and statistics of depression and anxiety are fairly well known and well documented. So I don't focus on those two aspects as much as I focus on post-traumatic stress disorder, because while you can find the statistics and the information about PTSD, not a lot of people, in my experience, know a lot about it. When people find out that I suffer from this disease, they look at me like I'm crazy. They think that I'm lying. Because the most infamous group of people, obviously, that are affected with this are war veterans. And that's really the only people you ever hear about having it. But that's not the case. Anybody who's been in any sort of traumatic, life-altering event can suffer from this. I have, actually, if you go to my channel and you go through my videos, I have a video specifically on post-traumatic stress disorder that I kind of go through some statistics and some symptoms and like different levels of it, things that happen. to people who suffer from this. And the worst thing for me personally is the nightmares. They don't come as often anymore, but they are still there. Then there's the flashbacks. I don't get them as much anymore either, but I am still very easily triggered. Then there's the effect that I've touched on in the past, but haven't ever really gone into depth about because there's really not much to say. That's the paranoia that I still experience on a day-to-day basis. I can't even go out around the town with friends or family and be okay. I'm constantly looking over my shoulder and I'm always tense, and if anybody sneaks up behind me, or even not even sneak, but if they come up behind me and touch me or even catch me by surprise just a little bit, it gets really bad and I start panicking. The best thing that I think you can do is to surround yourself with people that love you. Talk to your friends, talk to your family, because without them, you're you become kind of lost. For a long time, I didn't talk to anyone about it, and I kind of folded in on myself, I guess you could say, and I my parents started calling my bedroom my bat cave because I would never come out of it. And everything just started getting worse and worse and worse. But once it finally came to light and everybody knew that I had been raped, the love and support that came flowing into me was almost overwhelming. But I knew I had people that loved me and cared and wanted to help me through it. I had people that I could go to if I ever needed to talk, if I was having a bad day. Um, and it definitely makes things a little bit easier because being a victim or survivor, whatever you consider yourself, of any sort of sexual violence, it can make you feel lonely and it can be tough. But with people around you to help you, it makes things a little bit easier. I still have my good days and I still have my bad days. It's not something that I've gotten over, and I don't think I ever will get over, even though I do have a small handful of people who tell me on a pretty regular basis, hey, it's been almost 5 years. Just get over it already. Well, that's not going to happen. It's something that I think that I will struggle with and deal with and remember for the rest of my life. But knowing that I have a strong, solid support system makes things just a little bit easier. Regardless of what mindset you are currently in, if you think of yourself as a victim, if you think of yourself as a survivor, if you blame yourself, or if you've finally gotten to the point where you realize you did all that you could and it is the other person's fault, just realize this: you are still here, you are still living, and no matter what other people say, no matter what you may think, you are a survivor. You are still living your life, so you have not given that other person the satisfaction of winning. You are the winner. You are special. And you are important to this world. It took me a long time to come to that conclusion myself. And while it also took me a long time to start to love myself again, I knew that I had others that loved me. And whether you think that or not, I love you. So always keep in mind that regardless of who you are or what has happened to you, your sexual assault, your rape, your whatever does not define you. You define who you are. And you'll always have at least one person that cares.